Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Votonomous. I am back with another video. It's been a long time, but, here I am. It is May, and it is my favorite time of the year because Dead by Daylight's anniversary is coming up. We have 5 potential licensed chapters that are coming in June. Any of these 5 could be the licensed chapter, or it could be an original, and we're all completely wrong. But from what I've been hearing, from what I've seen, from what I think, these are the 5 chapters that are in the running currently for the 10th anniversary chapter for Dead by Daylight. So I figured I was going to come on here and give my opinion on every single license here and what I think is going to be the 10th anniversary chapter. I will start with the Indoraptor, Jurassic World. So just yesterday, we actually got an article. Allegedly, we got a leak that Jurassic World will be the next chapter for Dead by Daylight. And the Indoraptor will be the killer. Chris Pratt's character would be the survivor. I think it says right here, the leak claims the chapter will introduce Chris Pratt's Owen Grady and Bryce Dallas Howard's Claire. So they would be the survivors, and the Indoraptor would be the killer. I am trying to see where that is, but that is supposedly the leak. This doesn't give any source. So I've been trying to find the source for a while. I actually searched on Twitter. There's no source here as to where this leak even came from. I don't know how true this is, but here, this is what we have for Jurassic World. Supposed leak that the next chapter is going to be Jurassic World. So that's what we know about Jurassic World so far. I'm going to cover The Last of Us next, because this is kind of minuscule. So here's The Last of Us. Here's why people thought it was The Last of Us. IGN posted this article about the 10th year anniversary for Dead by Daylight. And one of the licensed chapters that they name a whole bunch of licensed chapters, as you see here, that Dead by Daylight has. But they named The Last of Us first. IGN actually did leak a chapter before. I believe they leaked the Chucky chapter. So a lot of people are taking this as gospel. A lot of people think The Last of Us 10th year anniversary chapter. IGN already has a history of leaking a chapter before. Could have done it again this year. So here's our evidence for The Last of Us. This is our only piece of evidence for The Last of Us. Figured I'd show you guys. Here it is. I didn't get to say it at the start of the video. If you haven't caught on by now, I'm showing you what evidence we have towards these licenses being the 10th anniversary chapter. I will give my full opinion after I go through everything. So the next one I'm going to hit up is Star Wars. So Behavior actually has the license for Star Wars because they are making a Monopoly Star Wars game. This was just, I think this was announced like yesterday or 2 days ago or something like that. A lot of people saw this, sparked a lot of conversation on whether or not this was going to be the anniversary for Dead by Daylight. Star Wars is a huge property, definitely could be 10th anniversary worthy. But there's a lot of people that don't like it, there's a lot of people that do like it. I could give my opinion on it at some point, tell you what I think about it. But this is why Star Wars is currently in the running for the 10th anniversary chapter in June. The next license I want to talk about is Bendy. Just a couple days ago, we got a whole bunch of Bendy news from somebody who works on Bendy. His name's Mike. He was talking about new Bendy games, Bendy movie, and also one Bendy collab. There's currently only one game-related collab that's in talks, and has been for a while. And probably the only one we'll entertain until something intriguing comes along. A couple years ago, the main developer who works on Bendy said, I do absolutely think it would be super fun and exciting to have Bendy appear in Dead by Daylight. We get hundreds of requests for it very frequently. Sadly, I don't know anyone from the studio, but maybe someday we can make it happen. This was 2022. And just recently, they confirmed that they were in talks with a different studio to collab on a game, and it would be the only game that they would entertain. Knowing that Meatly wants Bendy in Dead by Daylight, we can easily assume that the game that they're talking about right here is Dead by Daylight. So that is the information we have for Bendy. Again, I'll give you my thoughts at the end. Next up, we have Jason. Jason makes a lot of sense for the 10th anniversary. There isn't really any type of, like, I guess, like, leak. Like, Jurassic World got quote-unquote leaked. Last of Us quote-unquote leaked. Star Wars, there was a bit of, I guess, a clue, since Behavior was working on the Monopoly Star Wars game, that maybe Star Wars could be in Dead by Daylight next. Bendy, of course, them literally talking about having Bendy in a collab for a game, basically stating that Dead by Daylight's the only one that they would consider doing. So all of these make sense. Jason is kind of just the one that, it's just a guess, but I feel like it's a really good guess. They've wanted Jason in the game for a long time. Jason's license is finally out of hell, so I feel like it's very likely that Jason could be in Dead by Daylight very soon. Just recently, he was added in Fortnite, he was added in Call of Duty, and he also had his own Halloween Horror Nights house. So I feel like it is likely that Jason could finally be in Dead by Daylight very soon. So, with all that being said, I'm going to finally give my genuine opinion. As for the Jurassic World leak, I don't think it's true. I kind of think this is nonsense. I didn't see the original source for this. I don't know how true this is going to be. We've had a Jurassic World leak before, and it turned out to be fake, turned out to be false. I don't think that this one's going to be real either. This one just kind of popped up out of nowhere. So I'm going to say that this one is unlikely for the 10th anniversary chapter. Last of Us, I also think is very unlikely. I know that IGN leaked Chucky in the past, but I don't think that this necessarily means that they actually leaked The Last of Us. I genuinely believe that it was just a mistake on their end, and they got it wrong. I don't think The Last of Us is 10th anniversary. Star Wars could very well be the 10th anniversary. It is a huge license. With Behavior getting the license, it's totally possible that Star Wars is 10th anniversary. I'm not going to say it's impossible. I'm going to say it's a little bit unlikely. I would say the percentage is small. And for Bendy, they said that they were in talks with a different game company to put Bendy in that game. Usually, when they say that they're in talks, it takes about a year until that character is in Dead by Daylight. It takes about, I believe it takes about a year to develop the character properly. I could definitely see Bendy in the March chapter. If we see just a killer and maybe a map in March and it's licensed, I'm going to then say that that is Bendy. But I don't think, unless they were straight up lying here and they aren't in talks and it is basically done with development, I don't think that Bendy is the 10th anniversary chapter. So that would leave Jason. I do honestly think Jason has a really high chance of being 10th anniversary. He is the most requested killer now. The only killer who was ever more requested than Jason was Springtrap, and Springtrap is in the game finally. So Jason is now number one. I know that there is going to be certain people who would be very upset with Jason in the game because they think he's boring, but for the majority of folk, they are going to enjoy Jason in the game. I feel like he is 100% 10th anniversary worthy. I don't think it's going to be that controversial to add him. Star Wars is the only other license I could see being 10th anniversary if it's not Jason, but I do think that's very controversial. I think that adding Star Wars to 10th anniversary is going to divide people. Jason wouldn't really divide people. I would think that Star Wars, if it ever came to Dead by Daylight, it's not going to be an anniversary chapter, or maybe it would be like 11th or 12th. 10th anniversary is huge, and knowing that the Jason license is finally available, and knowing that Jason is in other stuff like Fortnite and Call of Duty, and did have Halloween Horror Nights, and was in multiverses, Jason very well could be the 10th anniversary chapter, and I would even go as far as to say, I would say Jason has an 80% chance of being the 10th anniversary chapter. I mean, think about the cosmetics. I understand that it would be Jason Universe, right? Like, they have to do Jason Universe as the base skin, but they can use his skins from other movies. So they could definitely do part 2 Jason, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Even retro Jason they could probably do. Maybe even Savini Jason if they're able to get that. So there's so much skin potential for Jason. They can make a lot of money from this. I just feel like it's a no-brainer. I'm gonna say Jason's an 80% chance for the 10th anniversary. I'm gonna say Star Wars is probably like a 10% chance, and then I would say Bendy and Jurassic World are each 5% chances. I don't think Last of Us is it at all, like, genuinely. I really don't. I see no universe it's Last of Us. Maybe the Jurassic Park leak is true. I don't think it is, but I'm gonna give it 5%. Could be Jurassic World, I guess. I just don't think the leak is really credible. And Bendy, I do think Bendy's going to come to Dead by Daylight at some point. If they lied to us straight up, then yeah, he's the 10th anniversary. But I don't think they lied to us. I think they are in the talking stage. I think Bendy's not going to come to Dead by Daylight until like sometime within the next 365 days. So those are my thoughts on the 10th anniversary chapter. It could very well also be an original chapter. We actually know nothing about this, and it's kind of crazy because we haven't had something like this in a long time. I feel like we've known if it was a licensed chapter for the anniversary. I feel like we knew way in advance, like almost every single year at this point now. Because when Five Nights at Freddy's came out last year, we knew well in advance, like I think like a month or two before the anniversary happened, we knew Five Nights at Freddy's was the anniversary chapter. They confirmed it. Also, Dungeons & Dragons the year before, they confirmed it like weeks, maybe a month early. Also, Resident Evil, they confirmed that like 2 months early. So we haven't had an anniversary chapter where we actually didn't know what it was. We haven't had that in the longest time. So that's why I just decided to make a video today. I thought it'd be really fun to cover this. I like speculation stuff. I like covering speculation stuff. I think it's neat. And I think it's really cool that we have an array of licenses that are very plausible for the 10th anniversary. Just because I didn't mention stuff like maybe BioShock or Slenderman, I guess they could technically be in the running. But these 5 seem like the strongest contenders, even though honestly, like I said, Last of Us, I don't really know how much I'd buy that. But I'm going to end this off saying I think Jason's most likely. Jason is my bet. He's who I would pick. I am interested in hearing what you guys think and who you want for the 10th anniversary. I'm going to be making a lot more videos, especially leading up to the anniversary. I'm going to be making a lot of videos on licensed chapters. I'm going to be doing tier lists, stuff like that. So if that interests you, talking about licensed chapters, maybe I'll even do a video talking about what fits, quote unquote, in DBD and what doesn't, whatever. I would love to make those discussion videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.